1944. The world is at war. 28 million Russians would die, but one little girl would be born in a Russian prison. This is her story. Ladies and gentlemen, Grandma Maria, but Maria Katz. Thanks for coming, Maria.
My pleasure.
Well, we really appreciate you being here. And we always ask guests to go back and tell us what it was like from the beginning. So I know at 1 month old, you wouldn't know when you were born what prison was like. So you don't have to do the prison, but tell us from the very beginning, because what people have to understand is Maria was born in 1944, which is in the height of World War II. The Russians, just to give you an idea of what Russia and Germany were fighting over, the Russians lost 28 million people in that war. They had a population of 190 million plus by the end of the war. And Maria was obviously just born. They were down to 170 million. It was a really brutal time. And Maria, of course, and her family were coming. She was born and the family was living right in the middle of World War II, right? Right in the middle, falling in love, having children, her parents. She's going to tell you the whole story. She's also going to tell you how communism evolved. You're going to learn a lot here. This is a history lesson and an exciting story about an amazing woman. So Grandma Maria, we're back talking to you and your earliest memories of Mother Russia, your family, your mother, your father, and your first days of childhood. Tell us.
Well, I was born in jail. I don't remember that, but I was hearing this from my relatives. My parents kept it secret, but then I found out from somebody else. But it's okay. I'm not shy about that because this is Russia. It's a Soviet Union, so anything can happen there. Yeah. But my family was very good, very kind, and my parents were not educated. They met each other in a little tiny town under Kiev in Ukraine, and met each other when they were 9 years old, and they were born there. They didn't go to school. My mother a little bit. My father didn't go to school because he had to help his father to make a living. They had a little tailor shop. When revolution happened in 1917, my father was 7 years old, and he helped his father in tailor shop. And Bolsheviks were killing rich people. So my grandpa had to prove that he is not rich, that he is poor, and not even middle class, because they would hang you up.
So they would hang you, so the revolution was the Russian Revolution.
Russian Revolution.
And this is when, 1917, so it was really just after World War One. So
yes.
Your family, like my family, my parents and my grandparents went through World War One and World War Two. Mm-hmm. And it's funny you should tell the story. My family's from Germany, and my grandmother and my grandfather came from a small town like here, and they were destined. Like as kids, he was a butcher, and he would bring sandwich for. So even at a young age, they were kind of predestined to be married. I think we don't call it a prearranged marriage, but yeah. So the similar was your mother and your father. Was it a prearranged marriage, or they just happened? No. Small town. They just
small town. Yeah. They met each other when my mom was on the stage singing something.
As a child.
As a child,
yeah.
She was 9 years old, and they met each other. My father was from a big family of 6 kids.
Wow.
And my mom was from 5 kids, but my mom was from very poor family, and her father is my grandpa. I don't know him. He disappeared in the First War.
In World War One.
World War One.
And back to the story you were telling us. That's amazing. So when the revolution happened, and they went to the Bolsheviks, it was the proletariat and the Bolsheviks, right? Mm-hmm. And the proletariat were the rich people. Is that right? No.
Proletariat was the working class.
Okay, and the Bolsheviks were the rich people.
Bolsheviks were not rich. They were making revolution.
Ah, okay. So see, I don't know the Russian history that I thought I knew. So tell it. So they were hanging people in the streets if they thought they didn't have any kind of money.
They thought that they have money.
But was it because this was in the very beginning of communism?
Yes,
so they wanted to share the wealth. Communism is, as you said the other day, it's one for all and all for one.
Yes, everybody gets the same thing. Everything belongs to the government. Everything. You cannot have your own business. Really? Everything belongs to the government. From one side, it's good because, you don't have to pay for your apartment, anything. You don't have to pay for your utilities. But you don't have possibility to make your...
Everybody, you can't have wealth.
Okay, let's...
So what you said to me the other day is the theory behind communism, not to interrupt.
I want to tell you something else.
Oh,
when the revolution happened and people were starving to death in the cities like my mom's and dad's. And my mom had two brothers who died from hunger.
Really?
Yes. Two little boys. And she had, when I was already in my childhood, I knew her one brother and one sister, and she was very close.
They still lived.
Huh?
There was a family of 5 or 6, so 2 died. But when you get to the point, explain how you got in jail, but not whenever that.
So after the war.
So people were starving. People were hungry.
We all moved back to Moscow. Yes, we were.
So the second war, you were in there for 1944, 45.
Yes, I was born in jail because my mom. I don't know where the story comes from. I just know one thing, that my mom went to the market to sell fish without permission, without license, without anything, and she was arrested by police and put in jail.
Wasn't your father in the black market also?
My father was always in the black market to make money.
A man after my own heart. I mean, I see.
My father always wanted to make more money, that his family lived a little bit better than others.
So you didn't have a bathroom in your house, did you?
The first house that I remember, it was my mom's. It was on my mom's name, and my father bought it. It was a little house in a nice area, but all the houses were little, and with a bathroom outside.
So you had what they call in America an outhouse. It's called an outhouse. So
outhouse, but with what my mom was the owner.
No, but the outhouse needs
people who were renting it some from her.
Oh, was it?
And one kitchen.
But so I got to get. So it was 1940s.
Well, it was 1950s since I remember.
Yeah. So maybe 1950s. That's what I was thinking. You were born in 44, so you would have been 6 by 1950. You start remember these things when you're 3 or 4 or 5 years old, whatever. But so the bathroom, there was a house. Was it literally like in America? In the old days, they had an outhouse out back. Mm-hmm. So but you're in Russia. Mm-hmm. It can be 20 below, snow blowing. What happens when you get up in the middle of the night or any time? You have to go to the bathroom. I guess you have something like a bedpan or something.
We had pechka. You know pechka?
No.
It's the little thing made from inside the house. We didn't have heat. The heat was coming from that little thing made from the brick.
Yeah.
And we cooked there too.
So a brick oven or a stove?
Yeah, it's not a stove. It's like. It's a pechka. I don't know how to say it.
We'll try to find one.
And okay, and it was okay. Our house was nice inside, and my mom did remodeling and everything.
Nice.
And
but I still can't get over you had to walk out in the snow to use the bathroom.
Of course.
And it could be.
It could be a frozen poop there.
Well, I guess that kept No, better that than a hot, muggy island poop. So,
But we lived in Moscow, and Moscow, they had a lot of they were rebuilding everything.
Right, after the
so
war.
they were smashing our little houses and give us a new apartment
oh, okay, nice.
with all utilities
Right,
and everything inside. And that's what happened when I already got married.
Oh, so
And
you,
I had like 8 months pregnant, and they gave us a flat for 3 people: my ex-husband, me, and my son. I was pregnant.
oh no, so then you didn't have to live with your mother and your parents.
I lived with my mother before.
Right, but
Then my father had to bribe somebody to separate our families, that we would get 2 separate apartments.
the bribe. That's a very common thing in communist countries.
This
and
was
third world
black
countries.
market, actually.
Yeah, it was
know?
another black market. Well, your dad was, I love this guy. And what was your father's name?
Chaim,
Chaim. Okay, what was your mother's name?
Sarah.
My mother's name was Sari. Very close.
Sarah, but it was Jewish name. We called her Sophia.
Sophia. I love those names. So they're very old school names.
And my parents were just excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent, very kind people. My father gave money to everybody. He had money, but if anybody wanted help, needed help, he was giving it. And he said, "Then you will know who your friend is."
Did he practice the tailoring that he learned from his?
No, when he moved, when my parents got married, when they were 20 and 22, my mom was 20, and my father moved from that little shtetl, a little town, to Kharkov. It's in Ukraine, you know that. And it's a bigger city, and he found some kind of a job. And he promised my mother that the minute he finds a job, he is going to come to pick her up, and all her family and his family, and they all live, and they get married, and they all going to live in Kharkov. And they lived and he did it. And they got married. And they had a little tiny room that they lived 12 people.
12 people in one room with
with
one flushing toilet bathroom, though.
I don't know that time.
Oh, okay. But look at what men used to be, all right? And they should be. Strong, a provider, takes chances to take care of his family, does what he says and says what he does. And no matter how hard it was, the family stuck together in that one bedroom.
Both families.
Yeah. Right. I think that's a big statement from a long time ago that hopefully we can still continue from today forward. Go ahead, tell me some more.
From Kharkov, they started moving towards Moscow. Yeah. And my father found somebody who would give a bribe and move. He moved all the families, 2 families, to Moscow. And it's a big thing.
No, but he's still in the black market again. Where does he get the money for the bribes?
Before, my grandpa had money. Plus, my grandma was from Poland. And her whole family, during the First War and Second War, they all moved some to America, some to Argentina, some to Brazil. I might have relatives here.
But was that because of the end of World War I, or was that because of 1939
they lived
Nazi
in
Germany?
Poland. Her family.
Right. Well, if you lived in Poland and didn't get out,
it was before Hitler came. They moved right away, but they sent to my grandma, who lived in Ukraine, a letter that we all moving here and here and here and here. Let's move together. My grandpa hid that letter.
Oh, because he didn't want to leave.
He didn't want to leave, and she was blaming him all their lives.
Well, you can't be dishonest to your wife. And let me tell you, you know my wife, and ladies and gentlemen, she don't play. Yes. So you don't be dishonest to your wife. But yes, you're back to your husband. I mean, your wife. Your wife.
But during the Second War, the relatives were helping my grandma and grandpa and the whole families with the money, dollars were coming. I don't know how they were changed. I don't know. I was not there.
Right.
And groceries and all kind of stuff.
But I just want to ask again, so I clarify. Your family got out of Ukraine and Russia.
Kharkov,
A lot of them,
Moscow.
because it was after the First World War. But they would have never been persecuted. Well, your mother was from Poland. She got Poland. Grandma. Okay, so she got out well before Hitler started his stuff in 1932.
Well, they had pogroms that time.
Right, but Hitler started, I think, in 1930, and I think that Poland fell in 1939, 1940, something like that.
Yeah, my grandma was not there
She
that
left.
time.
Okay,
she
good.
already was married to my father.
And out of Poland. Yeah.
Out of Poland.
Not that, but they went from the fire to the pot, so to speak, because if Poland was bad because it was anti-Semitic and because they were going to kill the Germans overran Poland, it didn't go that much better in Russia or Moscow. Mm-hmm. The other family members that went to Argentina and other places in America fared much better.
And we were getting letters from them, right. And I remember we had a cottage, like a little cottage, like in the back of our house, where we kept the dog and all kind of stuff. And my grandma was hiding the letters from America, and dollars. Yeah. And my brother, he is dead now, unfortunately, but he knew English, and he was writing letters back, and he found where they lived, but everything was lost. I don't know where it is. Yeah. But that's why my father had money.
Because he was getting help.
To bribe dollars, but he bribed people in police.
Right. Well, you bribe people that have power and control over what your situation's going to be.
And everybody was taking.
Well, so the American dollars are always the most sought after.
Yes, I don't know how they were exchanging it. If there was a bank, I don't know.
Yeah,
before I was born.
Yeah. So just from me traveling, whenever you take American dollars, like when I used to live in Jamaica and go back and forth, you get off the airplane. This is what I went through, and there'd be somebody you'd see, and you go, hey, and you go around the corner, and you go, how much you give me for one American $100 bill? And the guy might say, I'll give you this, and you say, you negotiate. No, this is and all right, I've got 3 of them. You have, they know what they're doing. The money changers and the bribe, everybody has their language.
You take a risk, but
well, they have their language, let's say.
They have, my father knew that language.
He knew it well, it sounds like. Yeah.
Everything was under the table. Yeah. Everything.
So tell me more. I'm sorry to interrupt.
My father was initiated all that moving from Russia to America.
He's the one that initiated.
He was yes.
Really? So
he couldn't stand that government. In Yiddish, it calls Melicha. And my father knew very good Yiddish, my mother too. And they always said, Melicha, I can't take it. We have to get out. We have to take the kids and grandchildren out of here. We have to move out. It's not going to be good.
Right, they knew. They could feel it.
Yeah.
So let me just say something, and I want to go back and I want you to tell the stories at the very beginning, but the reason communism doesn't work, is, in my opinion, is because we as humans are inbred to take care of ourselves. And if you're in the jungle and you can see an apple in a tree, you're going to eat it. If you're going to see a bunch of apples, you're going to eat them, and then you're going to try to make something, trade with somebody or something. The chances that you're going to say, hey, everybody grab an apple for free. Our goal is to be stronger. It's our human nature to be stronger, get better, get bigger, and be, to make better for our families. So when you say in communism, everybody, no matter what you said to me, whether you were a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist, an engineer, or a factory worker, what they were trying to tell you in the early days of communism, and I guess till today, is that everybody's the same and everybody gets the same money. Tell us the stories about the early days of communism and the youth groups that you had to join. And you told me there's a red piece of paper.
Yes.
Everybody had to have a red piece of paper to be like it was a license to Tell me more. I don't know.
No, it's about communist
Right, party.
member.
Okay,
Um,
communist member.
My childhood was very good, by the way. In
Oh.
Russia, the childhood was very
Nice.
good.
Nice.
They were taking care of the youth, of the children.
We don't do that
Everything.
much today in America, so that's good.
That's right. We didn't have a thought about going to school and killing somebody, okay? We were raised very good, with very good qualities.
Good morals.
Morals, yes.
And that was the government raising you in a sense.
That's right.
They put you into youth
But
groups.
this was Soviet Union, yes.
Right.
But I have to say this is a plus for them,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But there was certain thing that maybe I wouldn't get involved. But you had to get involved because this was communism and socialism. It's all kind of a mix there.
Well, you told me that in the beginning.
They always,
it took time.
the government used to tell us, we are in a communism already. Every day I was listening to the radio, we are in communism. And I used to say, well, when is it going to be then?
When is it going to start?
When it's going to start. So,
How old were you when all that happened? Do you remember your first memories?
first memories when I went to school. I went to school, they start school in Russia when they are 7 years old. I
Okay.
went 6.5 because I was born in December.
Yeah, so it's same as
But
American
I
when you're
had to
born.
know how to write and how to read and how to count.
When you got there. So it was your parents' obligation before you went to your first grade that
Yes.
whenever you had to be able to
Yes.
read, write, and count.
Yes.
Imagine that, parents taking responsibility for the education of their
That's
children.
right. I also
another
had
story we could
2
have.
older brothers.
And so they helped.
I was the youngest.
Right, but they would help. Your older brothers knew how to speak,
Yes,
read, write, so
yes.
they could. Your parents could say,
I knew
Sure.
exactly everything. And the teacher for me was like a god.
"Yeah,
That I always say, her name was Anna Petrovna. I always used to come, they called me Anna Petrovna because every time my mom or dad said something, I said, no, Anna Petrovna said so and so and so.
that's so cute." So she was. So that's so cute. So they nicknamed you that.
Yes.
Well, you're a smart lady. You remember you listened to your teachers. That's very important.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that was elementary school till four grade.
So you said there's different youth groups. Tell me
Okay,
about
when
that.
you finish, I think, elementary school, you go into the middle school, and you had to become a pioneer. You had to. It's a youth communist organization that you had to become pioneer. And in Museum of Lenin, it was procedure where we become the pioneers. They put a red tie, like in China, they put red tie too.
Did that? Who knows?
Okay, and we were so happy, and it was like a holiday,
Big celebration.
Big celebration.
Did you have so? Did they have a specific uniform for each
Yes.
youth group, or did you have to wear a uniform to school and they just put the? No. So the
Uniform
first
to
youth
school
group was called what?
mandatory.
And what was the first youth group called? Pioneer.
Pioneer.
Right, and
When you were like in 4th grade
Yeah.
or 3rd grade,
sorry.
and you become so they had certain rules. You can't say bad words. You have to be disciplined. You have to listen to your teachers. You have to listen to your parents. All
So-
good morals.
Right, so kind of like the Cub Scouts or the Girl Scouts.
Cub
They-
Scouts. The only difference is at Cub Scouts, you don't have to go if you don't.
Exactly.
But here,
Right, you
have
were
to.
forced to go.
You're forced to go.
Yeah, I understand.
Nobody forced you because we wanted. For us, it was like a holiday.
Right, and so
We were brainwashed.
right.
I mean, we were children.
Right, and so when you went to the Lenin Museum to get your in what I would call indoctrination, what we would say your ribbon and your
Yes.
that was a big thing. You got to go to the museum, see the
flags, red flags everywhere.
Music
portraits of Lenin, music, anthem, everything.
And a snack, no doubt.
And of course.
Because who has a party without cake?
This was in the center of, in downtown of Moscow.
Right.
So all the theaters, all the museums were there.
And this is probably 1950s.
Yes, it's
you were 6 years old, so it would have been 1950, 51.
Yes, 51. Then I
so
went
the
to
Cold War, when did the Cold War start? 1955 or... Don't remember. It wasn't in the beginning. Americans and Russia were friends. We didn't make it. After World War II.
I remember only that in school we were teaching. We were studying history,
Right.
and we were taught that America is our worst enemy. Now
Really?
I understand. Who needs Russia? I'm here, okay?
Yeah.
Who needs they are the worst enemy. That's why we have to have a good army, good everything to protect ourselves. Like America is going to kill us.
So you're in 19. This is kind of if you're a history buff. I'm not really. I am, but I'm not sure I have a lot of this. Obviously, my family grew up in World War II and was forced to leave Germany and on the run and all that. So it is part of my, as I like to say, the lexicon of my life or the history of my family. But by 1950, we were already, America was the enemy. It was, that's crazy because remember in World War II, we were allies.
My life till 73 and after us too, America was the worst enemy.
So then you, just to go back, so then you went into the second youth group, right? The older youth.
When you were like 18,
yeah.
I was already in college. You become a member of Komsomol. It's another youth organization. Nothing wrong with it. It's also...
It's just for older kids.
Older kids.
And maybe, and how do you say it again? Komsomol?
Komsomol.
Komsomol. Komsomol.
After
do you know what that means in English by chance, or is there a translation? No
you can't translate.
Okay, so it's just a name they came up with. Okay.
I guess the Bolsheviks knew. I don't know. Lenin knew.
Yeah, Lenin did. And he was dead.
Komsomol is was the same like the other one. You had certain rules,
right.
policies, and everything, but nothing bad. Okay.
I just said Lenin was dead. What year did Lenin die? He wasn't dead. He was alive, right?
He died. He was killed. When he was speaking, he was killed. What year? 17 was the revolution. 20 something in 20s.
Yeah, he died.
Or when Stalin came to power. I know he finished in 56. He died.
Stalin died.
Yes.
Stalin came
because
to power.
My father was in jail.
Again.
My father was not again. It's first time.
Oh, Mom was in jail
for black market. He was in jail for 3 years. But when Stalin died, they released everybody. And my father came when I was 7 years old. He came back. Yeah, 7, 8. I don't know.
So okay, so the second wow. Okay, so if you were 7 or 8, he would have got back. So he went into jail when you were 3 or 4.
No, hold on.
Oh, so yeah.
Hold on. No. In 50s.
Oh, okay, 50s. So you were 10.
When Stalin died, 56 or 53.
I don't remember.
But they turned this to a horrible thing. A lot of people died.
When Stalin died?
When Stalin died, it was a funeral and everybody loved Stalin. My father explained it to me. So I didn't love Stalin and I didn't go to the funeral on Red Square.
Wow.
What they did, it was police on the horses stepping over the people.
Why? I thought Stalin was in power during World War II.
He did okay.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly this politics. I was a child.
Yeah.
But I know that he killed a lot of people around himself.
Yeah.
He was afraid that they're gonna kill him.
Right.
So and he was killed.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's not in the paper,
Yeah.
but we know that he was killed.
He was killed. He didn't die of natural
And they
causes.
put him in a mausoleum next to Lenin.
Yeah.
And that's where it was killing during his funeral. All the young people went there. They loved him so much. So they opened their storage on the Red Square. That's a big one. And people were just dropping dead there.
Really?
Yes. And I know that because my cousin was there. She was older than me. She was that time 20 years old.
Did she die?
No.
But she just
But
they were killing.
They killed people.
The police did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Putin does now.
Yeah.
Okay, but this was Soviet Union. But they all crooks,
Yeah. Well,
Stalin
yeah.
killed a lot of people.
So after he lost power, I see. Let me guess. Not to interrupt you. So you're saying when Stalin died, and so another power structure, a power battle came. Like anytime you take the leader of a country out, like when we took out Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi, you can go on and on. Then or if you kill a mobster, the fights go on so they were fighting in the street to get power.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And after Stalin was Khrushchev. I think.
Right.
You
I think
remember
so.
Khrushchev, who came here first?
Yeah.
President from Russia came to America, and he was knocking with his shoes at the table.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
He was part of the Russian. He's the one that started the Russian space program.
Who was in government? KGB members.
Really?
Yes. Who do you think Putin is?
Oh, he's KGB. We know that.
He
know
was
he's
born
KGB from
Yeah.
I read a short biography on him.
And
He was a
know
KGB.
that not one country has a president for 25 years.
Except for maybe China might. Now that's
No.
Xi, but of course right. There's no free elections in Russia.
We always screamed that China and Russia, high. We were friends.
Yeah. Oh, that what they told you in when you were a kid, that China and Russia. Well, you're both, communist countries.
Yes, high. They were very good. Well, they still go.
And you went to college, so you got and the government gave you free education, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But Jewish people was discriminated because we couldn't get in college. Even we were A students.
Really?
My father gave a bribe. Again,
I love this guy.
But my father was in jail, unfortunately, when my older brother had to go to college.
So nobody to bribe.
He couldn't get to. He wanted to go to medical school, and he couldn't get it. And so when my father came back, he only found a bribe in Institute of Light Industry. Same, I was there too, and I was not friends with anybody because Jewish people were afraid. Okay, to say that we are Jewish. I was afraid to say I'm Jewish. Well, I
understand.
Well, okay, but one girl. I have to tell you not only about Jewish, but Jewish was not religion in Russia.
No.
Jewish was nationality.
Really?
Yes. No such religion. God is our Communist Party.
Right, there is no, right, they don't believe in the church.
When I was in college, one of the girls, my friend, attended church, and somebody found out and she was expelled.
For going to church. Because the government is the God.
The God. They burn churches. And churches in Russia like palaces, gold, silver, mosaic, everything is in, like museums.
Yeah, and
they're still on the Red Square. You always see that beautiful church. Beautiful churches. Moscow doesn't have so many like other cities.
Hold on one second. Don't choke to death. Just go.
What's this? Sorry.
Smoking.
Yeah.
So.
It's okay. We'll take a break. You're fine.
We're at 35.
It was very different.
Well,
that here.
obviously. Well, I
But
mean,
you have to give them a credit too. Education was excellent.
right.
Yeah, discipline was good.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a lot of like my ex-husband. If he didn't like the teacher said something, he could get up and leave.
Really? They wouldn't
Yeah.
get mad about that?
They were mad. They expelled him for a couple of days, and he went back.
And we want to talk about Phil and your life in America, but just to finish up with, or to do some more a little, because this stuff is fascinating, of course. Anybody that just, especially in the world we live in today, with, Trump rattling the nuclear tests again, and Putin meeting with our president, and China, and this has been going on. When I was a kid in 1957, I was born in 57, but in the 60s, we had the Cuban Missile Crisis where we all had to climb under our desks and the siren would go off. I remember as a little kid, 5 or 6 years old, going, wait a second, I'm under my desk and a nuclear, because we had visions in America of the Russians are going to bomb us with nuclear bombs, the Cuban Missile Crisis is in the 60s, and mushrooms, and we knew what the Americans had done to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So I remember thinking as a kid, how could being under this desk save me? And then we get vaporized. Even so you live in this fear that even as kids, this is put into us, and it's part of part of your genes, your DNA when you grow up. So back to what we were saying.
We were saying about Komsomol, and then it goes after like you're 20 years old, you can become a member of Communist Party.
You get the. That's when you get your papers done.
You get a red, not paper, a red book.
Oh,
like a passport.
Yeah.
Looks
Or
like American passport.
Yeah.
Red.
Yeah.
That's how that book. That you're a member of Communist Party. Of course, there's certain rules. You have to have meetings every week wherever you work. Well, my ex-husband was in the army. He was 20 years old when he became a member of Communist Party. Not because he believed in it, okay, in the communism and socialism, and but because he knew that when he is going to have a family, he can get promotion and grow if you're a member of Communist Party.
So you had to go along with the party, as they say. Yeah.
Yes.
Hold
you don't have to drink.
Hold on. Do you want to save on to that, or?
This?
Yeah. Do you like it, or do you care?
No.
Okay. So I'm sorry. And
So,
2, 3, 1. Go ahead. So you don't have
so
to drink.
when he went to army. He joined the army when he was 18.
Right.
That's the law in Russia.
Okay.
Everybody goes, we have to have a good army because Americans are our enemy.
Again with this American
he studied there. He didn't want to go to college before army. He hated. He didn't want to study. But when he went to army, he learned a lesson and he started studying there. And every a person who was in the army had the privilege to come back and go to college, take exams, and do not get A and B, they can get C.
So they had the same thing America kind of had. They had the GI Bill.
Yes.
So the thing when you left World War II, if you're in the army, you could go to college, and it was obviously a good society, it's an educated society,
Yes.
and a healthy society. So the medicine was, how was the medicine in Russia?
Free.
And it was good.
Good.
Do you know?
For
Right. You're talking
we
about
didn't
the
know
50s.
anything different.
But Cuba.
We didn't study about America.
Right, you
or
don't know.
Cuba.
But by the way, and just to say this, and I'm a pure capitalist, but in Cuba is considered to have the highest literacy rate and the best health care of any country in Central South America, or in, that area. I don't know all of it, but at least where they are. So, again, I'm not a proponent of communism, totalitarian governments, or dictatorships, or oligarchs. We're just talking about the way it was.
But see, that medicine was free because the doctors were getting the same salary like engineers or teachers, and that's very low. Doctors had to walk to their patients to the houses.
You had to do house calls on foot.
House on foot.
Wow.
Okay, but I think they didn't had so much equipment like we have here.
Of course.
Okay, so they were very good diagnostician in most time. Okay, because they didn't have to take an MRI. They didn't have it.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Simpler times.
But that's why people were getting the same thing. Doctors, he was studying 5 years or 6 or not like here 10 years. But a dentist, my both cousins were dentists. And one of them went, instead of America, he went to Vienna, and he lived in Vienna all his life. He passed now. He was very rich man. But to go to Vienna, you had to have $25,000 and to show to Vienna government and the Austria government that I have so much. Take me. They take it.
So that they knew you could support yourself.
And they give you a citizen.
It was $25,000 back in the day. You can get yourself.
But this was long time.
Of course.
1973.
Yeah. So let's go back. Let's go forward now. So you met Phil. I want to talk a little bit about your husband, your ex-husband Phil.
Yes.
And who I know very well. He's let me tell you, Phil. How old is Phil right now?
Phil is he was born in 1941.
So he's 80.
28th of June.
So he's about 84.
Right after war started.
Yeah.
And so he is going to be 80. No, he's 84 now. He's going to be 85 next year.
And let me tell you, and we're going to put up a picture of Phil. I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't want to arm wrestle Phil. I wouldn't want to fight Phil. And he's sharp as a tack.
And you know what?
He's a tough guy.
Nice for you to have him for podcast.
Yeah, I'll bring.
He
Phil
will
is
tell
a
you
tough,
the stories.
strong man.
Unbelievable.
Very sharp. So tell us about. You went to college to be an engineer. Were you married with Phil? Tell me what came first, college or Phil?
It's the same. In the
about the same time.
Well, we met each other. I was 17. He was right after Army, 21.
Yeah.
And he entered the college, and I was already in the first year of college.
Did you meet him in the college? Where did you
No,
meet?
I met him through our friend.
A blind date, so to speak?
No, we were friends in the beginning, and then
kind of just happened.
we were studying together.
Yeah.
And plus, his parents never had money. I mean, they were poor. His father was in jail too, and his mother was a bookkeeper in some kind of small organization. It was nothing. She couldn't afford to give him money for lunch. I had different life. I had everything what I wanted.
Yeah. Your father was better at black market than Phil's brother.
Plus, I was an A student. I was getting from government a little help, like $40 a month. Well, Phil and I, we both used to go to the movies on this money, and what is it? Cafe, restaurant, you know.
Well, when we were kids, I think we used to go to the matinee. My brother and I, in 1960s, would carry change in our hand to go to the movies.
Yeah,
it was 25 cents.
It was very cheap.
Yeah, I think it was 20. I could be wrong, but my older brother would know. But we had a couple. My mother would give us some handful of change, and we'd run to the movie theater for the matinee, for the Saturday matinee.
So we got married in 1966.
Yeah.
And then Leon was born.
That's
and
your
I
oldest son.
was writing my diploma that time. So for writing the diploma, they give you a year, and you can stay home and do whatever you want to.
That's excellent.
It's
Perfect
excellent.
timing for the baby.
Yes,
That's
and
good
we lived with my parents. And then we got our apartments, and we were like, I lived on the 7th floor, and my parents on the second.
Well, and was this done by the government? Gave you the apartment on the 7th floor, and they knew your parents lived on the 2nd floor, so they keep the families close, which is smart.
Not they did, because my father bribed some.
Okay, some more bribes.
They don't.
You gotta love
They
him.
don't give.
You gotta
You
love
know,
Chaim. He knows how to
and-
spread the dollars around
Yes.
to make it work. Right.
Yes,
Smart.
it's like a flat. You know, you have one bedroom,
Right.
a living room, which is your bedroom and everything, dining room in together, and toilet and bathtub, and a little tiny kitchen. But it was nice.
Yeah.
It was
It's
nice.
loving, right?
And yes, and everything what we buy, we bought from Italy. The furniture was from Italy.
Really?
That time, Russia didn't have anything their own. Whatever their own was piece of garbage.
Piece of garbage because the Well, so that's an interesting comment. Was it a piece of garbage because the people that were working in the plants to build the stuff didn't have any real desire to do a good job because they were never going to, they weren't getting paid real money?
Like
Yeah.
I graduate that Institute of Light Industry. Light industry, I was involved with the fur and leather. So I was working in a science institute, like research,
Right.
how to make leather better.
Really?
We had a little plant and lab that we could do experiments, and I learned German that time, so I was finding beautiful articles how to make a leather better, and I was translating to Russia, and my boss used to sign his signature under my article.
So he took the credit.
Yes, but when you go when I was working, good students get a good job. Bad students get like a factory job. So I was in science. In a special institute, we did only research in our own lab in a little plant. Okay?
Nice.
And I got pregnant with Jerry.
Jerry.
And I was wearing a lab coat that my boss didn't see it because God forbid, she was never married before, and God forbid, and she always looked at somebody and she never found out that I am pregnant. And when it was 7 months, then I had to tell her, because when it's 7 months pregnant, they they tell you go home, and they pay for 2 months before you have a baby and 2 months after.
Oh, nice.
And they save your job for a year.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
See,
We can't
I
get that
don't
in
want to
America
say
today.
anything bad about Soviet Union, but some of them are good. And what's good, I understand it's good.
No, you're being
That's
honest.
how I am here. I am not Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm for what is right.
And by the way, you're an American now.
I'm American.
So tell us. So you met Phil. You got a good education. So you got to work. What did Phil came out of the army?
I'll
What did he
tell
do?
you.
Because Phil's capable. He's so smart and
My
handy.
father was initiating that time. Everybody started going to Israel in 1970.
But what did Phil do when he got out of the army? I meant to ask.
Okay, after he graduated college, he got he was a draftsman.
But you said he wasn't a good student in the beginning. But did the army teach him how to be a good student, or did he learn in college and army how to do things? When he started learning in college, he was good. Yeah,
He
puts his mind
memorized
to it.
everything. Ask him now. He will tell you exactly about some machine, how does it work. Ask me now, I don't. Even I have organic and non-organic chemistry. You have to memorize the formulas, the reaction.
Sure.
And I had A. Now, ask me, I don't remember. Phil remembers.
Well, you haven't.
It's different brain.
Well, you haven't used it in quite a while.
Yeah, but Phil always using.
Well, Phil's into building things and stuff.
Yes,
So
he's a mechanical engineer.
yeah, very brilliant. So there you go. So he came
Okay.
out as a mechanical engineer.
Yes, he's a mechanical engineer. First jobs were mediocre. He didn't make a lot of money.
In Russia.
Then he was hired by a place where all the vegetables were coming. I don't know how in English you call it. Like a
Produce.
farm.
Okay.
Farm.
A process,
All the
a produce processing
Yes, yes. So he made like a line there how to package some
Right.
stuff. You know, he was very capable, very good engineer, and everybody knew that. So his friend, who was not Jewish, he said to him, "You know, Phil, we have promotion is coming." So he comes 2 days later and he said, "You're not getting a promotion because you're Jewish." And Phil said, "I'm a member of Communist Party. I'm a good engineer. And I do this and this and this, like nobody here is educated like me. And I cannot get a promotion because I'm Jewish." He said, "I'm sorry to say, I'm not Jewish and I'm very sorry for you." So after that, my Phil started listening to my father, and he said to me one day, "Let's quit everything and go to Israel." His friends already went right before us. Only Jewish people could go this. Could go.
So the Russian government would let the Jews leave.
No, they wouldn't like it because all the Jewish people were smart, okay, and but they didn't like it. But Jewish people, some Jewish people, Zionists,
Right.
okay, they were fighting with the government to let Jewish people go to their own country, okay, and not being prosecuted, okay, because a lot of them were in jail.
Right.
And these people who were fighting, they were in jail too.
They would be
Finally, they sent them to Israel, okay? So, and they will keep fighting for us. So here in America and a lot of other countries like Brazil, Canada, everybody, rich people were always donating money
Right. I remember that.
towards that to free Jewish people from Russia.
Can I tell you, now that you mention it, I remember my pediatrician, Dr. Patel, who we were very friendly with, my brother and we were friends with his kids. His wife, now that I remember, in the mid-70s, was instrumental in helping Jewish families come from Russia. I remember she borrowed my pickup truck one time because she had to go pick up a stove or something
Everybody
to give
loved
to a
that.
family that just came.
Yes.
Yeah.
My neighbor gave me a TV. My other neighbor
In
gave
America,
me,
yeah.
Yes. in
So tell the
America.
story
Okay.
about how you snuck out, or how you you're at the point now where people are allowed,
allowed to
Tell me,
go to Israel, but how the process was very difficult for everybody because we had to have a visa or at least a letter from somebody, Israeli citizen, that we are relatives and we would like to reunite.
right.
We had to take that visa to certain government organization and apply for leaving Russia and unite with that person. Everybody knew that it's fake,
Right.
but they kept their mouth.
And was your father also?
Of course,
Yeah.
my father got
was
it.
bribing the.
Yes, no, he was not bribing. This you can't bribe. You never know. They check you from the top to the bottom, and after a while, they could check you for 6 months. They could check you for 2 days.
Right.
But if you're involved with the secret jobs there, then they not say no.
Oh.
If you're a member of Communist Party, they say no. So that's why all the members of Communist Party had to give up their membership.
They have to give the Red Book back. They have to denounce the
So
Communist Party.
that's why Phil, when he was working there, he called the meeting of all the communist members and tell them that he doesn't deserve to be a member of Communist Party because he drinks, he is a drunk, and he hits his wife.
Ha!
And everybody started laughing because they knew him. And they knew also the Jewish people trying to leave to go to Israel.
Right.
So they said, Phil, you're probably going to Israel. He said, no, I'm serious. I don't deserve to be a member of Communist Party.
So
and he had to put this red book on the table and leave.
I'm a drunk and I hit my wife. I'm sure everybody there was going, yeah, but we're drunks and we hit our wives too. Yeah. That's no excuse.
That's true, though.
Yeah.
His best friend was the same way. We submit our papers to the government for permission to leave. You lose your job right away.
Oh, really?
Yes. We don't have any savings. We are engineers.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
We have to live on our money. So it's good my father and mother helped us.
Right.
Phil was doing a hard job, not in his field, okay? But then they found out that he is an engineer and they kicked him out too.
Oh, in Russia
he was carrying cows, meat, like
a butcher, sure.
that coming in the trains to the stores,
Right.
okay? And it's labor job.
No, of course I
so
know
they
it is.
said, no, you can't do this. You're an engineer. So they kicked
So
him
he had
out.
no job.
So he had no job.
And then, so the time came
The time came
that
and
you're
they
going to
said,
go to.
no, they said they gave us permission like in a month and a half, and we did, and we left Moscow.
Did you sell off all your belongings or
No,
just leave it
yeah,
and
you
go?
can sell your furniture.
That's, I mean, but nothing else. Everything else is owned by the
My
government.
mom took her furniture. It was from Italy.
Yeah, you said that.
She paid. My father had 20,000 rubles. This was a fortune
I was going to say.
that time.
Yeah.
So he saved some. So he gave it to us to spend, to buy clothes, to buy books. We brought a lot of books.
But your father left with you and
my father left
and your
two
mother.
sons there, and they got very upset, the jealousy, because my parents, I've always worked closer to my parents than my brother. They were married, my brothers, and my older brother was a member of Communist Party.
well, you're also daddy's little girl. That always
Yes,
plays into
and
effect.
they raised their grandchildren.
Right, they had
My children were 2 and 7.
Right, that would have been Leon and Jerry.
Leon and Jerry.
Yeah. So now you're gonna they don't smuggle you, but you get papers to go to Vienna.
We buy a ticket from Moscow to Vienna. In Vienna, a month before, it was terrorist attack, especially against Jewish people, and so we always had police behind us with the guns and everything. So in Vienna, Israeli representative met us to take everything, us and our luggage, to their palace. We called it palace. At Shanau. The name of this was Shanau. Nobody knows that, and nobody because we were a first family. But they already sent a lot of Russian Jews to Israel. But that was the place, beautiful place, where all the Russian Jews got together. They feed them with the kosher food. There was a big dining room for everybody. There was big room with beds, a lot of beds for all of us.
A dormitory, yeah.
With all the white sheets and everything.
Oh, wow. And it was a castle or it was just a real...
A real castle.
Really? So it wasn't
and it was
just...
surrounding woods.
So you went from this little flat to this big castle. How many people were there, you think?
Oh, well, that time was a lot. They stopped there for 2 days. They organized, and then they put them to Israel.
Right. And you went to Rome, though, instead.
But That time we knew another way, and a lot of we had a lot of letters from our friends who went to Israel not to come there. They were disappointed because it's different culture, a lot of bureaucracy. People just start coming. They
Yeah, it was
didn't
just
know.
the country was still in boxes. I mean, 1950s, 1970s, Israel was started in what, the
Yeah,
1960s?
48.
48 was? Okay, yes.
Yes, but
It's a new country.
they gave them it's Aliyah. They call it Aliyah. People who come from Russia, it was a second or third, yes,
Yeah.
because people from Poland during the First
Right.
War, there was a lot of Jewish people going to Israel and building
Right.
that country. Okay, our friends, my generation came. They were all educated.
Right.
Not like the other generation,
Ah,
like my
because-
father generation.
Because of the Russians'
Soviet
college and
Union,
treating, right?
yes.
Soviet Union.
They were all engineers, doctors, dentists. I mean, they had to learn Hebrew, and I know how they took care of them. They gave everybody money, everybody of apartments, like here, and supported them, give them a job and everything when they learned Hebrew. Everybody went to army after they settled down,
Right.
but they were patriots. They are patriots now. Their children, my generation children who are there, and grandchildren, they go and fight,
Yeah.
and they're
Everybody-
so patriotic.
Well, everybody in Israel has to join the army too.
Yeah.
So,
But we picked another way. It was a Jewish organization, Hayas, in Vienna, who took care of people like us, Russian Jews, who came into Vienna. They took us and they gave us all the money, all the papers to wait, and we had to wait 2 weeks to go to Italy. They prepare all the papers, they check your health and everything. And we had a social worker, and they were giving us advices and all that stuff. And we didn't have any papers. We had only Israeli papers, and everything, like our diplomas, everything went to Israel.
oh wow.
We didn't have any proof that we are engineers. So, but in Italy, we were illegal.
Wow.
Well,
Again.
in Vienna, we were illegal.
You were illegal in Vienna.
Illegal. They gave us an apartment and paid for it, I don't know. So we had a caviar, black caviar, and bottles of vodka with us. So Phil saw a cafe downstairs, and he went and he sold a couple things to the cafe, and we got some money, and we called that Jewish organization.
Oh, that's how you did it.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
And then they sent a taxi for us, and we came to the organization. It was in a regular building where people lived, and we were there for a couple hours, this and that, a lot of paperwork, and then they sent us illegal, in a train going to Rome.
To Rome.
And in Rome, also another Jewish organization took care of us, gave us money, food, everything, put us in a little hotel, and then we went to American embassy, and we started getting waiting for permission to go to America.
So then, now, you've kind of, if lack of a better word, smuggled yourself, even though you had help, out of Russia into Vienna, out of Vienna into Rome. Now you're doing the knock on the American embassy, which is the way to do it.
Yes.
And now they're going to give you papers to come to America. And so you said to me that you had a representative that let you pick anywhere in America you wanted to
We
go.
could go that time.
Canada,
We were
America.
first.
So you tell that. You were the first family. You
Yes.
said to me that Maria and her 2 young sons and her husband were the first family to come to America on this
to
program?
Detroit.
To Detroit. Oh, Detroit, not America, but to Detroit.
They put us from Italy. It's already embassy was probably doing it. We took a flight to New York. In New York, they put us in hotel, and downstairs was a bar. It was so loud. I never saw anything like that. You know, and so next morning we took a plane from New York to Detroit because our social worker who took care of us there, she said because we were both engineers, they said it's easier to find a job in Detroit.
So when you were
we picked Detroit.
right, so when you were in the embassy in Italy, it came up that you were engineers. So the social worker there said, "Well, why don't you go to Detroit? That's where the engineers
Yes.
They need engineers because remember, this is 1973. The car industry really needed you
Yes,
we made some
yes.
really shitty cars in the 1970s.
And-
but that's another story for
Yes.
another show. But
And
anyway.
it was a big Jewish community center. It's a Jewish family service who took care of all of us.
And then did you? So where did you and Phil end up work wise once you got 1973?
They gave us money for food. They gave us apartment with everything. Furniture was from Kmart.
Yeah.
Excellent. For us, it was 3 stories, basement and 2 stories,
The apartment.
with the air conditioning in the windows.
You had air conditioning.
In the
we didn't
windows.
get air. Well, I did by 1973.
1973.
Yeah. I grew up
Okay,
without
I
air
didn't like it, but I was young that it didn't bother me. So, and surrounding, and then our neighbors were Jewish Orthodox. So, and my little son, Jerry, he was 2, and he couldn't even speak Russian yet.
Because he never learned.
So he sound language with the kids, and he wanted to go outside. Okay, but that time all the kids used to go outside and no
Yeah,
problem.
they play in the front of the apartment.
Yeah, no
It's worse.
problem.
We say we play on the
made
stoop out
friends.
front.
So one neighbor gave us, they met. It was Rosh Hashanah, 26th of September, 1973, and the apartment was not ready because it was holiday and the Jewish family service was closed. So they put us in a little motel. When you got out from motel, you saw the expressway down, and all the Cadillacs were driving, and we were brainwashed in Russia that America is very bad to black people. They discriminate. They don't have anything to eat. They don't have houses. They're very poor. And I see the beautiful Cadillacs and black people are driving. Okay, it was kind of another thing that we were brainwashed. Okay,
Right.
so.
You are in Detroit. That's where they make
In
the Cadillacs.
Detroit, that's right. The Cadillac, big ones. You
Oh,
remember
they were.
1973?
Yeah, of course I remember. They were beautiful.
I didn't see any white people. I saw it was a part of Detroit that was probably more black people. I don't know.
Closer to
So,
factories,
but
I guess.
also we couldn't speak English. It was Big Boy. You remember Big Boy restaurant?
Yeah,
And
sure.
it was
yeah.
placemat
Yeah.
and picture of food. So we pointed hamburger.
Oh, there you go. I never realized that. Bob's Big Boy. I think they still have them up north. I love the statue of the kid holding the plate with the hamburger.
Yes, and then one family, Jewish family, who was, everybody was immigrant from it. But this Jewish family, they were born here, but their parents were from Russia or Ukraine, and they invited us to celebrate Rosh Hashanah. And
They took
it
care
was
of
so
their new
different.
neighbors.
But we could I didn't speak a word of English, but my parents spoke Yiddish,
Yeah,
and they knew Yiddish.
yeah, Yiddish because. So, Phil, you got it. Once you guys got sad and you got you got a place
Yes.
to live. Didn't Phil build your first house, or didn't you?
Well, there's a while from that, because first we found a job I didn't speak any English. Phil knew English a little bit from school and college. I learned German, so I didn't know anything. So I found a job in a laundromat. The owner was from Poland. She spoke Russian.
Right.
So it was in a Jewish area, so it was holiday. Everybody came with a tablecloth with spots. She taught me how to take the spots off with bleach. I am a Jap. Okay, I had to do this, and I knew. I came to America. I don't know anything about America. I mean, I'm not an engineer. I'm nobody, and I have to do what I
Oh, wait a
have to
second.
do.
Didn't you go to college for chemical engineering?
Yes, but I didn't speak English.
No, but you knew how to do dry clean. I mean, you ended up owning a dry cleaner. You learned.
This has nothing to do with that.
Oh, I thought the education you got. Oh, I thought the education you got in Russia helped you to
that
do.
time in America, that time they didn't know anything about a Russian education.
No, but what I always thought was the reason that you're so good at doing the laundry around here,
No,
not
this
my
is
laundry,
different.
but if I get I do my own laundry, but if I get a stain on one of my shirts, I get a little nervous. Yes, Grandma Maria takes
Because
the stain
this I learned from the dry cleaners.
So Phil got a job.
No, we didn't get a job right away. So he was pumping gas in a gas station for $2 an hour, and I was making $2 an hour. It was enough. They paid for for our apartment. The Jewish family service, they helped us. Jewish people who were doctor, dentists, they took care of us for free.
For how long?
Until we get a good job.
Well, how long did that
And
take
then,
you?
like when Phil got a job from Chrysler, we had our own insurance, so we became their patients, clients. You know.
So how long did it take Phil to get a job at
Oh,
Chrysler?
before, Phil was very disappointed that he couldn't get a normal job, and everybody kind of was depressed, and then we were meeting other Russian people, not from Russia, from Georgia, from everybody. And everybody was looking for a job, but we were more educated than others. Others were cooks, like something else. And they used to come to us and we used to talk. So one day, Phil found grocery store. It's not a grocery, it's a fruit and vegetables market.
Right.
It was for sale. It was $3,000 they were asking. And we could borrow from Jewish family service $3,000. So another partner of ours was from Odessa, Ukraine, and he was an instrument player, saxophone, I pronounce. And we decided to go partners because each family they give $3,000, so 3 and 3, okay? And we stayed in this business for every morning. Phil used to take the truck and go to a big market to buy vegetables. And then nobody used to come. It was a bad area, and we went out of business. No, we didn't go out of business. We left to the other person, our partner, because Phil was offered a job as an engineer, and first salary was $14,000 in 1975, I think.
But still, that was good money. You could buy a house. Like a house was $10,000.
Why? Because they asked him to come for interview, and they asked him to prove that he's an engineer. So he drew something on the desk, yes. And he said, okay, they give you 6 months to learn English. And because in 6 months, Russian engineers are coming to get the project that we did for them. We are doing right now. So they gave him 6 months.
Oh, interesting.
And his supervisor was from Italy. Very good man. And Russian people came in 6 months. And it was a lot of translators here in different companies because Russia had a lot of projects projects. They're making machinery, whatever. I don't know
Right.
the terminology about that. And they came to accept the project, okay?
Right. He had
But
to show him what he
Phil
did. Right. Teach
was
him.
a real translator because he knew how the machine worked. The other translator, they were good, but they only translate word to word.
Right.
Phil knew how the machine works,
Right.
so he explained it to them. So they start going, the Russian engineers start going from one company to another and saying, if you don't hire Phil Katz, we're not going to accept.
Right. They needed
Your
him.
manuals, your drawings, nothing.
Really.
And Phil and started getting phone calls. So his supervisor said to him, Phil, don't be stupid. Go for $5. You're going to open your own translation services at home. You're not, you're working here, making $14,000. You're helping the Russians. He was taking them everywhere, buying in Kmart, all kind of stuff,
Right.
you know, and FBI was right by our door.
The FBI was. Really.
You know how
Yeah.
FBI is like KGB, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and my
So you're
mom
nervous.
almost had a heart attack, and they were asking all the questions why he's with the Russians.
You know, it's kind of interesting if you think about the human psyche, and I always like to look at that you were raised under the duress of the KGB, and again, like I say, it's in your DNA. It never leaves. So now that you look outside.
Still now,
Yeah, and I mean, even at that point, the FBI is at your door, and you know the FBI is not the KGB. They don't make people disappear and kill people. At least we hope they don't. You know,
I hope
hard to
so.
say in today's FBI, but I'm pretty confident they do a great job.
Well,
of
they
protecting
checked
America.
all of us.
Yeah, well, that's what they're making
Now
sure.
you can see a lot of illegals because they don't check very good. I
No,
don't
but I'm
know.
saying the FBI was trying to make sure that Phil wasn't giving them any secrets or anything.
That's right.
Right. They were
They
protecting
wanted
us
to know him, and he was a member of Communist Party
at one point.
before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were doing their homework. They were
Yeah,
doing what
they
we
were
they were
doing
doing
their
what we pay them to do
They
and what they do
came
well.
to us many times,
Yeah.
but we were not that scared.
Were they polite and
Very
yeah,
polite,
yeah,
and my
very
parents
professional.
were there too. My parents lived across the street from us,
So they'd all
and
come together.
they said yes.
Would the FBI ask that your parents come over, or was
Yes.
it okay? It wasn't
They
like you.
didn't tell us that they're coming.
Oh, they just showed
Knock on the door.
FBI.
Yes.
Yeah,
do I
I've seen
know?
things like that
And
before.
English. I didn't know how to speak English that time. No, I had private teacher who was volunteering, and she taught me for a month
English.
English. But I still didn't know, and they did not like about engineering education in Russia.
Yeah.
Then they found out how good was it, and they started hiring people. But this was already after I went another way.
So let's bring it to now. Today, you've raised 2 kids. You've Phil. He built your. You built.
Okay, I
your
didn't
home.
raise my kids. My parents raised my kids because I had no time. I was working in a laundry, and then I became a manicurist and worked day and night.
Well, but I'm saying you did
Yes,
raise 2
and
kids.
Phil-
They have
Phil
your.
opened their translation services.
Oh, did
and-
he?
Yes.
So he
And
opened
at
up his
home-
own translation service.
Yes, like
Ah, did he?
on,
So he quit the factory.
second, yeah, we had a Russian
Oh,
typewriter, and he translated the menu, and it took him like 5 minutes to translate. It's $30, and I typed with 2 fingers after.
hunt and peck, as we call it.
Yes, and second year we made $40,000.
Really,
Our income was $40,000.
really, that's a
Yes.
lot of money back in the
A lot.
70s. Really, that was smart.
And third year, we already had money for down payment for a house. But I didn't want to leave my mom because my kids were still little.
Right, and you had the help of the grandparents.
Yes.
You know, let me tell you, when I grew up, and again, I grew up on a farm in New Jersey, and we grew up on my grandparents' farm. So my father built a house. He got money at the wedding, enough money from the relatives to build a house, and we would, they didn't we weren't being raised. My mother wasn't a stay-at-home mom, but if she had to go out, we just run across the field to go to grandma's. We spent a lot of time at grandma's.
That's right.
And the Cubans in Miami and the Latins in Miami and all the communities here in Miami, they emulate what you guys did. I mean, the grandmother stays home and helps with the kids. That builds good, solid kids.
Yes.
It builds, unfortunately, we live in a world today in America, and I don't want to go on, but we live in a consumer-based society where both parents have to work. I was just with my daughter's best friend yesterday having dinner, and she was lamenting at the cost of the child care for the one child, the baby, the little girl, and then the 4-year-old, he's got to go to daycare, and the little one older, that's 7, goes to school. But it's very expensive and hard to raise
My kids
kids.
were lucky, and we were lucky.
To have your family.
Yes.
And to keep the family together.
And then my kids were lucky that I raised their children, my grandchildren.
Yes, well, we have the boys. We love the boys, and it's been a blessing. So, Phil built the first house. He built it with his own 2 hands.
No, first house we bought for $70,000.
That's a lot of
in
money.
a very nice area.
Yeah.
But we had the down payment and everything, and payments were not a problem for. I was a manicure, so I was making a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I started with 1 manicure a day, and I ended up working every day from 8 to 6.
Hard work.
Phil used to come before me and feed the kids. I always had dinner I made it on Saturday, Sunday.
Right.
And then we had like 10 couples who were all engineers and doctors that we were socializing.
Nice.
And we were first who had a house. And then a year later, Phil always looked around. We always were driving and look around. It would be nice to live here. It would be nice to live there, And he found a new subdivision in the richest area of the
Detroit.
Not Detroit, suburb of Detroit.
Right.
West Bloomfield. And they just started building a new subdivision. And we walked in a model, and they were selling for $120,000.
Well, it's a lot of money either.
Okay,
What year was this, do you think?
It was a year later. So, hold on a second. 5 years we didn't live in the house. So 73, 78 we bought a house. 79, 80 we bought another house for $120,000.
Right.
But this was already beautiful, contemporary. In the back was woods.
Yeah.
And they just started building and developing that subdivision. So they said, we're going to sell you the model, but we're going to keep as the model for a year. So we found a buyer for our house, and we were paying rent to the other people.
Oh.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then we moved.
You were paying the rent to the people who bought your house until you could move.
Yeah, and we made $10,000 or 20, I don't remember. And then we moved to another area. This was different schools. And I have to tell you, when my kids, my older son started going to middle school, he met all Jewish people there, and everybody was having a bar mitzvah. And he said, I want to have a bar mitzvah. He was 12 and a half. And I went to a very conservative temple, and was a rabbi there who came also from Russia and spoke Russian too. And he said, if a child wants to have a bar mitzvah, he has to have a bar mitzvah. For 6 months, you bring me every week him here, and I will teach him everything.
Yeah, I hate
and
that
he
stuff.
was trained,
Yeah.
Leon,
Yeah.
and he knew everything. But because he did not attend school, Hebrew school, he could have a bar mitzvah only on a regular day a week.
Well, you couldn't do it on Saturday.
No. So we had on Monday, it was only my family. My parents were so proud.
Yeah.
And he was so proud.
Big thing going from, so look at this. You go from Russia, where you're not even allowed to be Jewish. You can't hold a job. You can't get a raise. You can hold a job. You're suppressed. You have to smuggle. This is the story, right? One step over the line. They smuggle themselves out of Russia. They make it through to Italy. They get luckily enough, the first family one of the first families to get to come to America, come to Detroit, and now your whole family's educated. You've started several businesses, because I know you started the dry cleaning business after this.
This is later
Yeah,
on.
and your son is now being recognized, and they're all educated.
All educated.
You really, really...
Even in Russia, in my family, even my parents were not educated, but it was a law in my family. All 3 kids have to go to school and college.
Yeah, I know the
No matter
feeling.
what. My father was very smart. When he came to here, he worked at the factory where they cut leather for the cars.
Yeah.
For $2 an hour, he didn't speak English. He was 62. My mother was 60. And the guy, the owner, used to come. He lived not far from us. He used to come pick him up and drop him off.
To make sure he got to
Make
get it
sure
done.
he did. And after a while, he worked there for 2 years. He was a good worker. Then the people, we started getting more neighbors from Russia,
Right.
Jewish people from Russia like us. And my father shortened pants for everybody, for all religious people,
Yeah.
Orthodox Americans.
So he used his tailoring
And-
skills.
And he didn't make any money. He did it for free. And for
He gave back.
everybody who came from Russia and didn't get a job, he did it for free. So that's why my father's friends were doctors, lawyers. They paid him back after a while. Okay?
That's a great story.
And he used to find them a job too.
Really?
Because he knew a lot. Between his little English and Yiddish, he could communicate with everybody. And I need this to work here and here and here. Okay, I'll help you.
Yeah, and that's the immigrant way. You know, right now I'm going to kind of close the show out talking
That's
about
right.
about what we do today. I'm an immigrant family. My family was first generation America. My family came here to America because on the run from the Nazis. Luckily, my grandmother had brothers that started a store in Louisiana, so they had a way to be sponsored. When we left Germany, we had to leave everything behind. We weren't allowed to take anything. Basic furniture, some pots and pans, no money,
That's
no
true.
wealth. The Germans, the Nazis took all our land.
No gold.
Nothing. And you had the same situation. Comes to America by the help of other people, by helping other people, by learning and working hard. And this is an interesting kind of where we're going with this, but here we are, 2 immigrant families, and we see what's going on with other immigrants in America today that are just as hardworking, need just the self-help. I'm not talking about, I know there's a thing about illegal America,
Yes.
migration. Neither one of us think that's good, but give these people a chance. Look what you've done. And so I just want to say both her sons are very successful. Jerry was married to my ex-wife, or I'm sorry, my current wife is my wife's ex-husband. Jerry and I are very good together. I'll tell a story that you remember this. One of the first times I met Jerry and Maria, my wife and I were going on a cruise with the 2 kids and some other family friends, and Jerry came along
We
on the
came
cruise
all together.
with you. And some of my friends says, you met this girl and you're going on a cruise with her ex-husband and her mother. I said, hey, somebody to watch the little kids so we can have some time. I didn't mind. And Jerry looked at me, and this is the way it should be in life. He said, hey, let's go to the bar. He bought 2 shots of tequila. I don't know if you know the story. And he raised the glass as we did. And he said, and the boys were little. He said, to raising the boys together. And we stood and we took a shot. And we have both, I'm lucky enough to have you in my life and have the boys mean so much to me, along with, of course, Franny. And Jerry and I, we always joke around that Franny has a type because Jerry and I get along very well. Yeah. So we're both the same. And Leon, of course, your oldest son, is a wonderful man. Grandpa Phil, him and I are very close. We have a good time together.
And I raised the grandchildren from the beginning.
Yep, the boys are great. And I just want everybody to understand where she came from. So I can say this. What kind of car do you drive today?
Mercedes.
You drive a Mercedes-Benz because of the hard work of her and her family. So that shows what you can do when you come to this country and you work hard and you focus on your family, your faith, your people. You help people and people help you. Grandma Maria, I love you so much.
I love you.
Thank you so much.
You're my son-in-law.
Yeah, well, we are very close. That's right. I always
We
look out for
call
Grandma.
each other son-in-law and Grandma
Yeah,
Maria.
she says, well, I'm on the top of the list for son-in-law. And thank you so much for coming. Rick, thanks again, as always, for being our engineer in these things.
It was a pleasure.
And again, this is Ken Behr with the podcast One Step Over the Line.